You know what it might be too, this connection problem? We're under a severe weather watch in Miami.
That's what it is. It could be.
There's a tornado warning outside. We got some serious storms here. For those of you that don't know South Florida, if you're flying here in the summertime, put your weather radar on. We got some serious storms here in the Miami area at this time. So we are under, in fact, a weather watch. If we cut out quick at any point, it's probably because we lost power here at our Miami office. And listen, if you are in Miami right now, come stop by our office. We're here and we're waiting for you to come in so we can do a little pre-oral with you, a little oral prep, ground school, 40-hour, 80-hour, 3 hours.
You name it, we do it.
Whatever you want to
That's
do.
it. Just give us a call if you have any question. Remember, 1-888-778-1441.
All right.
So,
hey, new website is up, 1StepPrep.com. It is the number one, not one spelled out. I think some people get confused with that. It's not O-N-E. It is the number one, 1StepPrep.com.
right. Yes.
Yeah, professional pilot type rating training. J&J, Juan and Joe, your friends in type rating training. We make it simple. Even the most complex of concepts get very simple.
Yeah. For your Airbus drivers, Boeing 737 Classic,
320s,
and 737NG.
Yep.
CRJ. Right.
Everything. 73 Classic NG, 320, CRJ, video training, and live chatting, just like what we're doing right now, just for you.
And now we're doing the webinars, right? For the members, you know.
Yep. The gold members and the platinum members. Gold members and platinum members. You will be invited into live webinars whereby, just like what you're seeing us do here right now, this is for members only, however, we cover your specific questions there.
Right. We can discuss anything.
Yeah, you'll be able to chat with us in there and just make sure you're getting prepared properly for training. So that's basically what that's about. Let's talk today a little bit about, what we set out to talk about, which is why are your landings firm? Listen, if you looked at our email newsletter we sent out yesterday, which basically asked hard landing, why? Why are my landings hard? All right. If you're not subscribed to the newsletter, by the way, do that. It's at 1StepPrep.com. It's on the homepage. You'll see that there. So look, the question is, how come sometimes your landings are hard? And what we were talking about is if you're not used to having thrust being produced from engines that are mounted under the wings, you're probably not used to the pitching tendencies of aircraft with the application and the reduction of thrust. So what we mean by this is, look, any application of thrust, nose goes up. Any reduction of thrust, nose goes down. Yeah. So what we find is in the flare, when you're flaring, you need to be applying back pressure for two reasons. One, because obviously back pressure is required in the flare. But two, you also need that back pressure because when you reduce thrust to idle,
your nose is coming down.
Your nose is coming down. So what I tend to do in the sim with guys that I see are having a hard time is I'll actually have them initially land with power on, all right, which is obviously not what we're going to be doing, but just to train this out of them and illustrate a point and show it, I'll have them land with the power on, and then what we'll end up doing is slowly we'll reposition, keep doing a bunch of landings, visual approaches, right, and we'll have them reduce the thrust higher and higher and higher until finally you're having idle thrust, generally about 30 feet is where we like to have idle thrust. So
for the Boeing 737 guys, right, Gabby? Normally 100 feet, disconnect your auto throttles. 50 feet. Remember, just try to use the radial altimeter for the technique, right, Gabby? That's what I told them all the time. Might as well use it for your advantage,
it's
counting down from you. And that's the altitude from your tire, actually, to the runway. So that's what I do.
Yes, because it's saying 50.
100, 50, 30.
Right.
20, 10, so actually you use it, So when it says 100, disconnect the auto throttle, clack, clack, 50 feet, bring it back. And at the same time, now you're pulling back on your yoke,
So remember, you're pulling back because of the flare and you're pulling back because of the thrust reduction. So you're going to need more back pressure than you think. Be mindful of that.
But now you're doing it at 50 feet. So now it makes sense. It's just, 50 feet, not 100, not at 200 feet,
And that's the other thing. Don't flare too high.
Right.
Sometimes you're going flying again. It's like, whoa, wait. Where are we going? Where are we going?
Now for the Airbus guy.
Yeah, Airbus a little bit. So look, with the Airbus, you don't have auto throttles, right?
Right.
Got auto thrust.
Auto thrust.
Yeah, you got auto thrust. So auto thrust a little bit different. Obviously, the thrust levers don't move. The Airbus has a nice feature where it's a reminder. It will say retard, okay, reminding you that you need to bring the thrust levers back. Now, why do you need the reminder? Because your thrust levers have been in the climb detent ever since you reach the acceleration altitude.
Right.
and the thrust reduction, right? Thrust reduction first, and we accelerate. So once we had that thrust reduction, we sent them to climb. We never touched them again for the entire flight, and then they were left there. And that's
until landing.
That's
it.
Why.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the deal with that. What else were we talking about? We talked a little bit about flows as well. Your flows for after landing should be done when you vacate the runway. Okay, when you leave the runway. And the thing is that what we see sometimes is we're still in the process of exiting the active runway, and the flaps are being retracted, the speed brakes are being stowed, landing lights are being turned off, transponders coming off, the APU is being started. Everything that you're supposed to be doing after landing, that entire flow, you got to do it after landing. That's the whole point right there, right? Don't do it while you're still on the runway. So another thing, everything's about landings today that we're talking about. Air traffic control instructions on the landing rollout. So sometimes what we see happening is that the air traffic controllers, and look, we go through these reports on a daily basis where we're reading about what's happening in the air traffic system. And basically one of the things that we see is that the training that is given to ATC encompasses a part where they talk about how the timing of the instruction when you're clearing the runway needs to be timed properly. We have noticed sometimes, I can tell you this, from being out there flying, sometimes you're decelerating, still in the landing rollout, coming through 100 knots, and then you get an instruction to clear the runway, and you're still trying to land the airplane, right? You're still doing call-outs that are coming. You're still maintaining center line control. You may be transferring control with the captain, right? If it was an FO landing, something like that. So the whole thing is do not respond if you're not in a position to do so. You might miss a hold short instruction. You may miss a turn off instruction. And so if you don't acknowledge, obviously it's going to need to be repeated back to you a second time and a third time if need be. So just be in a good position and be prepared to write down your taxi instructions. What else we got going on? Crew tag.
Any question, just give us a call. Remember, that's what we're here. That's what we're doing the show.
1-888-778-1441. Give us a shout. You can also type to us in the chat. All right. And for those of you that are gold members, platinum members, let me see if I can bring this up back there. We just got a new website up. Let's see if we can share this.
There you go.
Let's open it on a we open this on a new. No, I'll do that.
On a new tab?
Yeah. Aha.
There it is.
There it is. See that right there? So let me do something here.
All right.
There we are. All right. So look, when you are when you're on the website, okay, and you select your option down here, you're going to see there's various options, okay, and the two that we highly recommend is, of course, the membership option. Now, look, two different types, gold and platinum. Okay, both memberships now are going to be webinar. You're going to have available webinars for you where every month. Okay, we're going to be doing these live feeds just like this for both our gold members and our platinum members. So you'll be able to watch these feeds live like we're doing right now, answering all your questions. Give us a call. Right here's the phone number. It's 1-888-778-1441. Call us with your questions and also type them right in the chat. Type them in the chat. Juan and I, we're live in the office right now. We're listening to your calls and we're reading your messages, and we want to make sure we get all your answers. That all your questions answered, get everything to you that we need to.
So we can, right?
Yeah. Just to go backwards and recap a little bit about what we were talking about, we have today's show all about landings, particularly what we're talking about. Why are the landings hard? Remember that when you are in an aircraft such as a 73, such as a 320, where we do have thrust being produced by engines that are mounted under the wings. Remember, the under the wing mount means that when thrust application goes in, the nose comes up, and thrust reduction means the nose comes down. So, of course, when you're flaring, you're pulling back, right? You're holding that back pressure for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, because you're flaring, but two, when you reduce the thrust, the nose is going to want to come down. Yeah. You got to be ready for that. Okay, this is something that, look, if you're flying a CRJ, an ERJ, an MD-80, or corporate jet, whatever you're flying and the engines are mounted on the back, you might not be used to that flight characteristic. So it's one of these things where you've got to be ready for this. And the other thing that we're talking about also is flows. Okay, after landing flows. An after landing flow is an after landing flow, meant for after landing. Do not do it while you're still on the runway. Oftentimes we see on the landing rollout, speed brakes coming down, flaps being retracted, landing lights coming off, APUs being started. Look, all those things are correct. They're part of the flow for after landing. Yeah, so that's the whole thing with that. What else? Talk a little bit about the website. The website is brand new. We just launched this a few days back. And we were talking about the 4 different options, which is the oral prep, sim prep only, gold, and platinum. Now, look, the members, what's going on to our members, everybody out there, Juan and I, we give you our hello and welcome you into this live feed. And the other thing is that we have many live feeds that are going to be coming for webinars. Now, look, the webinar is a monthly deal for the gold member, for the platinum member. You will be able to communicate live with us, much like what we're doing here right now, but we'll be covering more system-specific content there for those of you that are using our online video course.
Any questions, contact us anytime.
Give us a shout.
That's why we're here. Yep. Just give us a call. We're waiting.
What else?
We want to hear those phones ringing.
What's going on? Here's a phone
number. Call.
1-888-778-1441.
Don't go to an oral, if you're in doubt. Right, Joe?
If you have the slightist doubt,
don't go.
Listen,
you don't want that pink copy.
If you go from like point A to point B walking, let's say you're outside, you're just walking from A to B, and then you do the same thing, B to A, right? You go from B back to A. Which way is faster? If you go from one point to point A to point B, and then you make the reverse trip B to A, which way is faster? It's going to be from the reverse, right? B to A. Why? It's a road you've already traveled. You've already done it once, twice, maybe 3 times. And the point is that when you go through our video platform, you have got to look at it more than one time, man. You can't just go through it once.
And we cover pretty much everything they need, from ground school all the way to a PC.
The whole thing
for initial and recurring training for both of them.
So what questions do you have? Listen, these live feeds that we do them all the time. We do them every monthly live feed. What do you want us to talk about? Do you have any questions, anything in particular that stands out as like, man, I really would like to have them answer this? Let us know. We've been here all day, not only doing the live feed, but we actually went down our list of members today, and we just call them and reach out to them and say, look, we are here and we're ready to answer your questions. Whatever we can help you with, let us know. And so that's what we were doing today, all day long, on top of other recording some new stuff that you're going to like. So, all right. Hey, listen, thanks for tuning in. For those of you that are watching, if you have any questions, here's the phone number. It's right behind us.
Again, 1-888-778-1441. Give us a call anytime.
Yep.
We're here to help you guys.
Anything else we can do, visit the contact us page if you want to type to us.
And when is going to be the next? Live? We're going to do what next?
Live?
Maybe next week or
next week. Today is Wednesday.
Maybe next week. Yeah, we can set up something.
We got to do
maybe on a Thursday
a webinar as well. So
all right.
We're doing a members only webinar next, and then we're doing another live feed. So anyway, that's the story, man. Give us a shout. We want to talk to you. Hope all is well. We'll be chatting with you guys soon.
Yes, sir.
All righty.
Call us anytime. We're here.